Can you believe it? The very country that once opened its arms to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the same Canada that sheltered them when they fled the royal storm, is now saying, enough. The headlines are brutal, the tone is icy, and Canadians aren't mincing their words. We don't want you here. It's a stunning reversal for the couple once seen as victims of palace politics. Just a few years ago, Harry and Meghan's move to Vancouver Island felt like a romantic escape, a fairy tale couple running off to start a new chapter away from royal drama. Canadians felt proud to host them. After all, Canada has always had a soft spot for the royals, right? But oh, how quickly things have changed. Now the mood is downright hostile. When news leaked that the Sussexes might be visiting Canada again, the public reaction wasn't excitement, it was outrage. Social media erupted with one unified sentiment: stay where you are. People were furious, and not just the loud voices online, everyday Canadians too. The same taxpayers who once footed the bill for their security are now saying, not again. The RCMP had protected them, the government had covered the costs, and Canadians had played gracious hosts. But that generosity has long run dry. What was supposed to be a quiet, dignified visit has spiraled into a full-blown PR disaster. Their name alone, Harry and Meghan, is enough to divide an entire nation. Only this time, it's not admiration or curiosity stirring the pot. It's disappointment, resentment, and a whole lot of, we've had enough. People haven't forgotten how it all began. Back when the couple decided to step back from royal duties, they painted Canada as their perfect refuge, a peaceful, neutral ground where they could heal. It sounded ideal. But behind the scenes, the bills piled up, controversies brewed, and soon enough, the fairy tale started to crack. When they left for California, Canadians felt abandoned. It was like watching guests storm out after a lavish dinner without saying thank you. The nation that once welcomed them with open arms suddenly realized they had just been a pit stop, a backdrop for the couple's dramatic exit from royal life. So now, when whispers of another visit surfaced, the reaction was immediate and fiery. "We're not your backup plan," some wrote. Others were even blunter. "You used us once. Don't try again." And that's the thing, it's not just about disinterest anymore, it's about betrayal. Canadians are polite, sure, but once they turn cold, that frost cuts deep. They feel played emotionally, financially, and even nationally. The once sweet narrative of a young couple searching for peace has morphed into a story of self-promotion, hypocrisy, and constant chaos. Every move Harry and Meghan make seems drenched in controversy. Every interview feels like an attempt to rewrite the past. Canadians have had front row seats to this ongoing soap opera, and they're over it. Even those who once defended Meghan, admiring her courage to speak out, her struggle with the press, her fight for independence, are now weary. Sympathy has turned into fatigue. People are tired of the endless monologues about finding freedom while flying in private jets and signing multi-million-dollar deals. And the sentiment is clear. If you wanted privacy, why won't you stop talking? Behind closed doors, insiders say organizers in Canada were shocked by how bad the backlash was. They thought a royal visit, even a former royal one, would bring excitement. Instead, communities are pulling out, venues are backing away, and sponsors are getting nervous. No one wants to be part of a media circus, especially one with the Sussex name attached to it. It's wild when you think about it. Just a few years ago, people lined the streets to catch a glimpse of them. Now, they're being begged to stay away. The PR charm is gone. The smiles, the speeches, the causes, none of it feels authentic anymore. Canadians aren't fooled by glossy documentaries or emotional podcast confessions. They've seen enough to know when someone's trying to sell a story, and to them, this latest return to Canada reeks of damage control, another staged performance to polish up a fading brand. Harry and Meghan once represented hope, a break from tradition, a breath of fresh air in the monarchy. But now, many see them as professional victims, constantly cashing in on their grievances. The royal titles, the Hollywood homes, the media deals, it all feels like one big contradiction. Canadian columnists haven't held back either. They've called them out as tone-deaf, self-serving, and out of touch. Even the usually polite outlets are turning savage. One writer joked that the couple should send a thank you card to Netflix before boarding the plane. Another simply wrote, "We've defined as the couple are laying in stateless in Crescent." Already seen that show. No need for a sequel. And it's not just the media. The public's rejection feels deeply personal. Remember, Canada once adored Prince Harry. They loved his charisma, his military service, his humor. He wasn't just a royal, he was a guy people could relate to. But that Harry, the humble, cheeky, down-to-earth prince, seems to have disappeared. What's left is a man tangled in resentment and regret, following Meghan through a maze of rebranding attempts and media makeovers. Canadians don't see the fun-loving prince anymore. They see a lost man trying to sell sincerity through scripted speeches. This whole fiasco, the outrage, the rejection, the anger, it's more than just bad press, it's a warning. The world's patience is wearing thin, and Canada just became the voice that said what everyone else has been thinking: we're done with the drama. For years, Harry and Meghan have tried to control their image to shape how people see them. But this time, the narrative has slipped out of their hands. When an entire nation starts begging you not to visit, it's not just a PR hiccup, it's a verdict. The love story that once captivated millions is turning into a cautionary tale about fame, entitlement, and the danger of believing your own hype. Let's be honest, Canadians aren't naive. They've seen this playbook before. Every time Harry and Meghan's Hollywood sparkle starts to dim, suddenly there's a humanitarian trip, a charity appearance, or a personal visit meant to show how grounded and relatable they are. But Canadians are calling it what it is, another PR stunt dressed up as goodwill. Remember the last time the Sussexes were in Canada? The country practically bent over backwards to make them feel safe and comfortable. The RCMP covered their security. Local taxpayers helped shoulder the cost. And what did they do? Packed up, left for California, and then told the world how miserable royal life had been. Not a word of thanks to the Canadians who'd hosted them. That's why this new planned visit feels like a slap in the face. People see through it. They don't believe it's about reconnection or gratitude. It's about image repair. Their Hollywood projects are collapsing one after another. The Netflix buzz is gone, the Spotify deal fizzled, and Meghan's lifestyle brand is barely making a dent. So where do they go next? Back to the country that once adored them, hoping to rekindle a little magic. But this time, Canada's not playing along. On social media, comments poured in like wildfire. Don't come back here. We paid for your last getaway. You can stay in Montecito with your chickens. The sarcasm was merciless. People joked about setting up no vacancy signs at the border. One user even wrote, "If you need security again, try GoFundMe. We're not paying for it this time." The humor was biting, but the right message behind it was crystal clear: enough is enough. Canadians don't want to bankroll another royal melodrama. Even community organizers who were supposed to coordinate events reportedly pulled out. They don't want their local charities to turn into the backdrop of another tabloid frenzy. The fear is that what should have been a simple public appearance would spiral into a global media circus, cameras flashing, narratives spinning, and the real purpose completely lost in the noise. It's sad, really, because deep down, people wanted to love them. Harry, once the heart of the royal family, was adored for his authenticity. Meghan, at first, was celebrated for breaking barriers. Together, they were supposed to modernize the monarchy. But instead, they've turned into what many call the royal Kardashians chasing fame while preaching humility. The irony couldn't be sharper. They left the UK to escape the spotlight, yet every step they take seems designed to keep them right in it. And Canadians, of all people, are tired of being cast as extras in their ongoing saga. The public opinion now feels unanimous. The couple's charm has worn off, and their constant victim narrative is falling flat. Even sympathy, once their greatest weapon, has evaporated. People aren't heartless, they just don't buy the act anymore. What really stings is that Canada was their safe zone, the country that offered them peace when the rest of the world was judging them. They could have built something real there, meaningful charities, genuine connections, quiet lives, but they traded all that for celebrity deals and Hollywood glitz. Now, coming back feels opportunistic. And the timing? Couldn't be more suspicious. Every time their popularity dips, there's suddenly a surprise trip or emotional project. Canadians are starting to notice the pattern. They see that these visits aren't about goodwill, they're about control. Behind the polished smiles and heartfelt speeches, it's all strategy, another calculated move to steer public perception. And Canada, polite as it may be, has finally called them out. Even major networks there have stopped romanticizing the pair. Talk shows and headlines aren't gushing about their outfits or baby updates anymore. Instead, they're dissecting the couple's hypocrisy, how they demand privacy while signing documentary deals, how they preach compassion while airing family feuds on global TV. It's gotten to a point where people roll their eyes when they hear the name Sussex. The fascination is gone. The fairy tale has collapsed under the weight of overexposure. And let's talk about Meghan's image in particular, because, it's taken a hit. Her once sparkling reputation as a bold, outspoken humanitarian now feels tarnished by ambition and overbranding. Her speeches sound rehearsed, her smiles look staged, and her supposed projects from podcasts to wellness ventures come off more like publicity props than genuine passion. People are asking, what does she really want? Because every time she talks about purpose, there's a product, a platform, or a camera right behind it. Harry's situation, on the other hand, feels almost tragic. Canadians used to love him, the soldier prince, the fun royal, the guy who'd crack jokes and get his hands dirty helping veterans. But now they barely recognize him. He looks lost. Always defending, always explaining, always trailing behind Meghan's next big vision. It's like watching a man stuck between two worlds, not royal enough for the crown, not grounded enough for normal life. And that's what makes this rejection hurt even more. Canada wasn't just another country to him, it was one of the few places where he'd found real joy. His Invictus Games had deep roots there. His friendships, his memories, his charitable beginnings all tied to Canada. But now, the same country that once cheered for him is closing its doors. This isn't just a cold shoulder, it's symbolic. It represents how far their public image has fallen. Once seen as the brave duo standing up to an outdated system, they're now viewed as self-absorbed opportunists chasing the next headline. And Canadians known for kindness, fairness, and patience have finally said what the rest of the world has been whispering. We're tired of the drama. Their message couldn't be clearer. You left, you moved on, now so have we.